Oh, Razors looking strong in game number 1. Virtus Pro started off fierce. HR taking it in the late game. Sayori joined once again by LD. What's the good word here, LD?
Well, I said before the series started, I think HR and VP Polar are the two teams to beat in the qualifier right now, and HR showing why. They actually did not look dominant early, but I think a lot of it just came down to how badly Spirit Breaker needed BKB to initiate fights, and VP could have won that game 1 for sure. If they siege a little bit more carefully, don't get picked off by the Omni Slash, and end the game before Juggernaut and Troll get 5-6 slotted, I think they actually win that game. So HR lucky to come out ahead 1-0, but also just executed really well to get there. And second pick now for HR. The Juggernaut not banned. VP felt the Troll was more of a problem, and they will remove that this time around. So
yeah.
I don't really see any reason not to go for Jug again. The hero just does it all. You can, as I was mentioning, you can not even solo Roche early, so you get a couple points in the healing ward, get your Mask of Madness, and just go take the Aegis, and yeah,
there you go.
If Jug's there, just take him.
Open it up. Now, are there any heroes to really keep an eye out for that counter Jug? Anything that's particularly strong that HR need to prioritize here in these bans?
Well, he's not very good at D-pushing, right? He has Blade Fury, but if he uses Blade Fury in a creep wave, you can just right-click him, and then he has no great defensive mechanism. He's also not good when you've got a ton of creeps, so heroes that have a lot of summons, like Nature's Prophet, Chen, if you want to just push the Jug early, you can do that. If you want to take it late against him, you either need instant silences, but in theory he can go BKB to counter that, or you need some sort of super hard lockdown. So, I mean, obviously there's always options like Doom, but it seems like push strats work pretty well against him. Cloud9 did that the other day. Also heroes that if there's like no one he can just find easy solo kills on, then I think he tends to fall off. Brewmaster's actually very good against him, I would say, but just because Brew can take a lot of those dominating fights, and when he splits, there's not much you can do.
Yeah.
You can't kill the Jug, but you can bully his team and take objectives during that time.
Well, Virtus Pro won't be too rattled by that first game. They'll stick to their guns. Ember Spirit, a hero they're very comfortable with. We were hyping up the G Ember Spirit during the last draft, and ended up being BZZ who played it in the safe lane. So it could sort of be a general repeat of last game where Virtus Pro have the same general strategy in mind, but this time just try to tighten the noose a bit sooner. Yeah,
I thought it worked. Their laning stage was excellent. Their execution in the early to mid game was also very solid. Didn't make many mistakes.
Yeah.
We're always ready for those charges. Great sleight of fist by the Ember to interrupt them in many cases and catch retreating heroes.
10 seconds
I think the way they played it, they should have won that game 1. So
BZZ
I think VP look at it and say our execution wasn't great later on in the game, but the game plan was still solid. So if they want to go for something similar, I would not question that.
Well, this time HR will take the puck out of the pool for options, so that will mean Sadoy needs to do something a little bit different this go-around. But still very open-ended. The Earth Shaker, still an option for Virtus Pro. That was one of the other heroes they ran. The support in tandem there with Skywrath. So
5 seconds remaining.
Let's see exactly what they have in mind for the Jug.
The other thing that's good against him is just heavy right-click. When he Blade Furies, you just auto-attack him down. Of course, that doesn't help you if he's Omni-slashing, but in the early to mid-game, Jug is going to use Blade Fury a decent amount. Later on, he tends to it's only for like the Blade Fury TP out.
Yeah. I feel like Dazzle is not a bad hero to try and deal with the Juggernaut a little bit.
The plus armor is pretty good. Grave is nice to... Although I will say, Jugs with that Mask of Madness build, they kill so quickly that it's hard to even wave your arms to cast. Void could be really nice if you just chrono and focus him down. I mean, Void's always Void Doom. You know, heroes like this are always an option if you just want to flat out carry something.
Doom here to go off lane and move into the jungle.
He's just so weak in the off lane is the main downside. And Jug can really punish that.
True. Fair point. But Virtus Pro will switch it up this time. They get the Wisp with their third pick.
Wisp is good versus the Omni Slash if you're on positioning. The overcharge can be pretty valuable there. I wonder what they look to combo this with. Do you go for a Tiny, try to out late game Hellraisers? Do you just have a Wisp in the mix and go for something a little bit more mid game oriented?
5 seconds remaining.
Locate incoming, you just black hole the area where they're going to arrive and just instantly kill whoever shows up. So
yeah.
It also, generally, this Wisp Skywrath can actually play extremely aggressively, but generally we're going to see the Wisp spending a lot of time getting runes and then trying to get levels in the jungle and stacks out for the Ember.
Enigma's also a little greedier here, and I think Hellraiser's assuming that this will be more like a Tiny or a CK or some... CK ult just keeps getting buffed, man.
Yeah, CK, now that you mention it, is... CK is you always build tanky, right? So you get your armlet, you know, maybe your BKB, heart, items like that that will just help you. I don't know how it would fit in otherwise to the draft. I think he struggles a bit against Enigma, but generally where CK excels is when the other team doesn't have a lot of AoE to kill the illusions. And right now they mainly have the Enigma, but they could follow it up with more. I think if you want to go CK, you might consider 5th picking it here rather than trying to go for it now.
Yeah, I mean, for Hellraisers, they're not really going to be able to ban around the hard carry to pair with this Wisp. With only one ban, there's so many heroes that are really potent with this.
On the side of Hellraisers, yeah, they have a lot of push already with the Venjar, the Eidolons, the Jug pick, obviously. So in that direction.
Yeah.
Similar to last game with the option to go heavy push, but not required to.
Right. Okay. Well, Virtus Pro thinking hard about this, burning all the hero for the off lane. We still don't know what he's going to play. A lot of options available there. Nature's Prophets. They will save that hard carry for the final pick.
Yeah, Wisp, Nature. Pressure all around the map with the new flavor of the past 6 to 8 months, the Ember Spirit in the mix. Very good pick-off lineup. Does not excel at is because it completely decides how they look to approach the game. They can go for an ultra hard late game carry. They can go for something that lets them fight constantly with the Prophet and Skyrath Ember trio. Still VP with a lot of directions to take it, even 5 picks in, or 4 picks in with just the 5th to go.
Yeah. Now this could also be a curveball here where it's paired with the Ember Spirit in the safe lane, and we're still waiting on that G hero for the mid, and could do something totally different here, like an Invoker or something like that, and try to throw Hellraisers for a loop, but they'll get a nice tanky frontliner here with the Bristleback.
Invoker has been very popular lately. We saw a lot of him in the American Qualifier. EMP Tornado feels very strong right now compared to its old. Just the Quaswex Invoker in general feels pretty good and makes it very difficult to push. VP will ban out Magnus.
All right. Another good team fighter. Obvious synergy with the Enigma there. I guess the Empower on Juggernaut is something to be wary of.
And Hellraisers will ban CK, which I think was a smart ban, given that they picked Bristleback. They've revealed their maybe not their last core, but likely their last hero that's going to be able to potentially deal with illusions well. At this point, we'll likely see more of a tempo controller. And Quills are not really that great against the illusions after the early game because it just takes too long for them to stack up.
Yeah.
So I like the CK ban, but VP can still go for a Tiny or something like that. Yeah.
Tiny's the obvious
Legion
one,
Commander.
All right. So how would they set this up? A couple of options for the lanes. I would guess it'll be the G Ember Spirit here, and then they'll put BZZ on LC and just try to get that snowball rolling.
Yeah, it looks probably like either the BZZ Ember safe lane and Legion mid, or the other way around.
So picking an LC into a Vengeful Spirit feels very brave.
The swap can really shut down Legion, but they have the Skyrath Legion duo. So
True.
Especially if the Venge isn't in position, if swap's on cooldown, if it's a level 1 swap, it's not always long enough range. But you are right. Generally, we don't see a ton of Legions versus Venge.
Even just the nature of the healing ward, I feel is pretty good against LC, because whoever you're dueling is still getting healed up. That regeneration might be the make it or break it between winning or losing a duel. Venomancer now the final pick for HRs, and they're very annoying lane presence here with all that stinky Veno.
It's just an annoying hero in general. It looks like it should be I think it should be a core Veno this game. So probably Veno mid, Bristleback off lane, Jug farming the safe lane, Venge roaming, and Enigma off in the woods.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. Dread will take the Vengeful Spirit again, 2 games in a row there, and Gorik will take the Venomancer. Probably mid. Yeah, mid Veno, off lane Bristle with the safe lane Jug. Makes most sense, I think.
10 seconds
So
remaining.
G takes the LC here, and it will be BZZ on the Ember Spirit
5
once
seconds
more.
remaining.
So still curious exactly how VP want to set up these lanes. Perhaps it will indeed be safe lane farming Ember once again.
Yeah, it's something we've seen, I'd say, more out of in China. We've seen it quite a
Prepare
bit from
for
Yao.
battle.
Will often end up, not even necessarily in the safe lane, but in a side lane. He's gone off lane situationally with someone supporting him there. I think that's the main Ember player I've seen who often will not go mid. There was a little bit of it from, was it? No, it wasn't Ush, but someone was doing it in the American qualifiers. But it's not really a super common thing. We're seeing more of it now, though. And with that said, it puts the Legion commander mid. I'm guessing the Wisp will be stacking the woods, controlling the runes, and probably dual laning with him. So VP should run these defensive dual lanes. Off lane, Alpha Ninja Bristleback. Not the easiest kill. They have a lot of magic damage, which is nice against Bristle. But
Yep, G, a very experienced LC player here. 768 victories in terms of duels, and he's even imprisoned some demons, so that's nice. Oh, look at that. Radiant side, HR, how are they going to set up these lanes? Looks like it will be Gorak here, tagged up as 1/1/1 on the Venomancer. Perhaps headed to the off lane. Plenty of regeneration. We'll put an observer on the high
30
ground here.
seconds to battle.
And they will safe lane the Jug, it would seem. Arts will take point on that. So Ninja, is this a Bristleback mid? It would appear so with 2 pooled Tangos. Well, that's fun.
yeah, I guess so. Bristleback mid. Veno to the off lane. We have seen a decent amount of off lane Veno. Trixie comes to mind as someone who plays it quite a bit. IX Mike was doing it for Fire a handful of times. The other thing is there has been a little bit of support Veno. Fluff and stuff has played it, though I would say it was a bit underwhelming. Just the lack of farm on the hero. You don't get your ult that quickly. And Veno really excels when his spells are leveled up early, just because that damage over time, if you're behind the enemy team, they can just heal through a magic stick. They get their mech out a lot earlier. You know, Wisp has extra levels to just stay in fights longer and heal their teammates up. So the core Veno on the offlane, though, this with the denied creep as well, gonna be very annoying and difficult to bring down.
Yeah, Yol will intercept the creep wave here. So Bristleback LC mid. Talking about an interesting matchup you don't get to see too often. I guess it should be fairly even, right? And less supports rotating through. I don't know that I've ever actually seen this matchup.
I've not seen it. Bristleback, like 9 times out of 10, is in the off lane, or sometimes will be farming in the safe lane.
Yeah,
but
where
generally
safe
always
lane
in the side lanes.
Yeah. Solo mid is definitely atypical.
It's not easy to lane against Bristleback.
He's putting
as a
some
melee.
hurt onto G here, though. Stacking up those quills already.
This is going to happen whenever the Wisp is off in the woods, but Wisp can just stack the jungle, bring the bottle in, and so if you're Legion, you can afford to play a bit riskier. We'll see him tether through in just a moment, I imagine, and just heal his buddy up.
Yeah, well, at the very least, Bristle will find a lot of farm out of this lane if things keep up the way that they are. So see what item build he goes for. Maybe interested in just rushing a Vanguard, moving around, and trying to control some tempos here. Could go for a fast S and Y if he wants a little more right click. A lot of options for a Bristleback getting this much farm early on.
Comparing the two off lanes, both players getting similar amounts, and the good news for Nature's Prophet is it's not easy for Juggernaut to solo kill him. Oh, hold that thought, mid lane.
Ninja maybe in trouble now. Jottam only level 1, so just a tether.
If you can get on top of him with Blade Fury, and he's about, I'd say, like 2/3 health, then you can kill him, assuming he's leveling Blade Fury up. But you generally will have the trance available to deal with Omni Slash. You can also sit pretty far back. No boots out yet, though. Well, he's going to go and snag them now. So I think Sadoy both offlaners really should continue to do pretty well.
Yeah, Arts is hanging on to his third ability. Okay, we'll go ahead and put it in stats. So pretty classic stuff here coming out from the Juggernaut. I reckon we'll see something pretty similar to what we did last game. That Mask of Madness, as you pointed out, a great farming tool and opens up some versatile options. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Gorak getting dove on here. Jottam will rotate through. BZZ with the Searing Chains will connect, and your first blood will get drawn. Once more, it's BZZ on the Ember Spirit. Back-to-back games. But he finds a nice early first blood.
Those level 1 wards, just such food.
Yeah.
Easy one-shot there for BZZ. You do want to be careful about feeding too many of those. In this case, it's fine. He's trying to live, but
whoa, again. Got to be careful about feeding yourself here. Now the Veno, yeah, that's going to be an easy one for the Ember Spirit. And
that was a pretty ballsy TP. Well, they get 2 freebies, and the issue is now that he's used his TP, he's going to have to walk back to the top lane.
Yeah, the old-fashioned way. And at least
and it's no boots even. This is sad times for him.
He's found level 3, but now those back-to-back deaths
not worth.
Make a pretty big difference.
Normally, I'd say getting your experience as an offlaner worth giving up a kill or 2, but not worth that much.
Not like
First
that.
blood, double kill, and wasted TP. That's expensive.
And now this Ember Spirit is picking up a bit more momentum already with phase boot. So yeah, good luck running away from him now with as the bootless Veno.
And good news though, Veno can afford to die a bit because the Juggernaut's free farming bottom. The Bristleback is doing well against a 1.5 lane. Wisp in the jungle sometimes, laning mid others. And Enigma is having free farm in the woods. Not exceptionally highly leveled, but he'll hit level 5 at a decent clip. And anytime you have an uncontested Enigma in the woods and your other lanes are farming, you can afford to have a hero too that's not getting much accomplished.
Yeah, a fair point. Enigma in the jungle just opens up more efficiency in general. Soul Ring, now boots picked up.
They're also really good at Roshan HR. Venge minus armor, Eidolons, Enigma and Jug can both solo Roshan. You throw Goo on top of that, so that's another comeback mechanic if HR do end up falling behind, but right now it's not too bad for them. They're down about 1,000 gold, a lot of that just the first blood, and they'll catch up if VP don't continue to make moves around the map.
Yeah, Nature's Prophet picking up his first null tally here, so I might be a null tally blade mail kind of game here for this Nature's Prophet. That's the way Sadoy wants to play it.
You know what I saw the other day? I saw the Dagon Nature's Prophet.
Oh yeah, just
Fog. 4-position Dagon Prophet.
Naked Dagon or
boots. I think like boots Bessie Dagon.
Okay.
Basically.
Yeah, I like that. That's fun. That can actually be a surprisingly potent build.
It was against the Wisp actually, just for the burst damage.
I mean, if
did not work though.
Yeah,
sadly.
If you can get 2 or 3 kills pretty quick with it, you can really use it as a good snowball piece. But it is risky, that's for damn sure. Already up top, though, Virtus Pro putting a lot of pressure on this tower. They know there's not much the Veno can do, and oh, there's a TP from the backside. Sadoy in the tree line. Gorek, he's in a lot of trouble. He hasn't even realized it yet. Now Sadoy
no
comes in.
Mana, though.
Oh, will have just enough, but...
And Veno does still have tangos. The good news about dying so instantly is you don't blow your regen. So.
That's true.
Something to keep in mind for HR. We haven't seen a ton of Nature's Prophet, but you always want to have a tango if possible.
They will try to make a push out of this. TP in from the Enigma. Glyph's already been used. But the tower could stay standing. Midnight Pulse comes out. Maybe they'll get a deny off. Veno trying for it. Can't get it. Now Ninja comes in onto BZZ. BZZ trying to find the right path to get out. There's a double damage on the Bristle. One more swing of that mace. It's really a flail, not a mace. But still, Bristleback gets the kill on the Ember Spirit. And well,
what are you, a weapons expert?
Yeah. Well, you know, it's got
our medieval warfare king.
It's really just a rock on a rope. Let's be honest here. But nice little hold from HR. They still lose the tower, but the Bristle has a nice rotation.
Guys, for more medieval knowledge, you can follow Zyori TV on Twitter. Here comes the push.
Black Hole available for Enigma, has a Soul Ring, a little light on mana, but Art's getting aggressive under the tower, is 6, has an Omni Slash, holding it for now. Too many Christmas trees down on the field, and won't be able to get the bounces he's hoping for, but it's a hasted Bristleback. Not a fun hero to square up against when he has a haste rune. Almost TP's out, but Bristle gets that last set of quills to bring him down. Now Sadoy trying to play some ring around the Rosie with that Veno ward, but it won't happen. Tries to TP out. Omni Slash for good measure. That's making sure he's got the kill. I don't know.
Kill secured.
Down bottom, Dread will feed a solo death to BZZ, but his team making up for it in the top lane as they do transition into a tower push of their own.
Yeah, just I not wanting him to TP out, I guess, but it looked like he was going to die anyway. They'll push. They'll take the tower. No trade for VP, and this is how we used to see teams deal with the Wisp Nature's Prophet strats, where oftentimes just destroy them very early, like before the Wisp can get level 6, before they're able to farm the big stacks. And the thing about that tier 1 top falling is it opens up the jungle for for HR to go contest the VP stacks. They're even heading that way now with the Enigma. They have 2 wards to drop. They get eyes on G and Jotum, and if they could steal these stacks, that would be a nail or 2 in the coffin for VP, I'd say. They're very reliant on farming those to get the Legion blink to, and without that, they don't have a great initiation in the mid game.
Yeah,
but
Legion,
looks like they're not going to be contested.
Legion is farming pretty damn well, though, just glancing at net worth. Kind of middle of the pack, still close to the Blink Dagger for 7.5 minutes in. All these stacks from the Wisp are really coming in handy here, working on a nice 4 stack, it looks like. And a little bit of a struggle, but still some huge farm. And I think Virtus Pro, I mean, the blink is going to be very telling. If they can start racking up some damage, that'll be good. Whoa, I'm talking about that. Down bottom, Venge gets dropped pretty quick.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Ember's
I didn't actually see that either. But
Well, that'll happen. The Venge
I spaced
still pretty
out.
squishy.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, it's
I'm
all
supposed
right.
to have your back.
Well, Sidoi TP's down. Now they'll push into this tower and shot him. Oh, actually, it's pretty low to
Dire's
jungle
top
himself. Looks like they will
tower
just
is under
sacrifice this
attack.
tower, maybe go for a tower trade as they rotate towards the mid.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, they'll take the tower.
Radiant
Tier 1 mid for
structures
Tier
are
1 bottom.
fortified.
I'd say fairly
Dire's
even. It is the
middle
safe lane tower
is
for
under
HR.
attack.
Yeah.
But
Both.
taking this mid tower starts to open up the map towards Roshan.
Radiant's
They
bottom
take this, if they
tower
can
has
take that
fallen.
bottom Tier 1, get this ward up, it could be a very difficult Roche to
Dire's
contest for
structures
VP,
are
who
fortified.
do not really excel around the pit, to be honest. You look at their team, they have Ember, who's
Dire's
okay
middle
there,
tower is- Dire's middle
Legion, who's a good
tower has
initiator,
fallen.
and then, like, no follow-up. And maybe HR even go for it sooner. They're going to head back towards their own woods, though, and I think they push out this bottom lane, they go for the Tier 1 bottom, and if VP haven't contested or gotten some big trade, then they can even think about Roche.
Yol in kind of a weird spot here in the tree line. He is fogged.
On
I
the top lane,
don't
they might
think
even
they'll
find the
find
Veno.
works and actually pretty deep, trying to pressure that tower. BZZ in hot pursuit. Remnant forward. There is a TP on the Veno, but I don't think he's
Dire's
going to be able to
top
find a
tower
path
is
to
under
use it.
attack.
And yeah, getting that clear vision with the trees.
And
Nicely
Yol is
played.
still just chilling. He's found a comfy little home in the trees here.
That seems like, Yol, just hang out for a little while, my man.
You're not as
Radiant's
sneaky as you
middle
think, man. I
tower
can
is
see your
under
wings flapping over the tree line, but fortunately Fog of War doesn't quite work that way. in
Oh, the
Dota.
courier actually
Oh, it almost
would have scouted him out if he stayed there a little longer.
that would have been a sad way to die.
Could have been a close call.
And the thing is, Skywrath can't even really kill the courier. It takes him too long.
Yeah.
So then, like, the courier sees him, he's helplessly throwing whatever it is that he shoots out of his staff at
Dire's
people, and
bottom tower
my.
is
then
under
dies
attack.
anyway. But
Well.
he dodges a bullet.
Mask of Madness up on Arts now, so going for this same build we saw last game. Phase boots into the Mom. Huge movement speed, and as we've talked about a few times, huge versatility. Can use it to kind of flash push these towers far more effectively,
Dire's
and
bottom
will
tower
secure the
has
last hit
fallen.
on this bottom Tier 1 tower. The last Tier 1 tower for Virtus Pro. Only 3 to 5 at the 10-minute mark, but HR, they're not done
Dire's
pushing yet. They
bottom
say,
tower
you know,
is under
VP,
attack.
if you're not going to come contest this, we'll just keep on going. They will force a few TPs into the Tier 3.
Invis Enigma. Dire side did not see this rune get picked up.
Uh-oh. And he scouts out Yol. Now, there is also a blink on the LC. Gene does have that option, but Yol, Omni Slash. Easy pick on the Skywrath Mage.
Accept your death.
That's going to happen a lot. I have a feeling.
Yep.
This is where the Mask of Madness phase boots jug. Last game they had pretty good heroes for dodging it. This game, not
Shot
so
him.
much.
Malphus doing some work here, but we'll find the tether to BZZ. They don't dive the tower. Searing Chains connect on some Eidolons. The big blueberry stays alive. And HR will back out.
Mech is coming very soon. At which point it gets hard to see VP defending even the tier 2s, unless they split push.
Do they have a mech of their own on the way? They do not. Sidoi does go for the Hand of Midas, though, on the Prophet. No Blade Mail. So at least one farm tool in the bag.
I agree with that. The way this game is developed, Prophet is not going to win by fighting right now. He's way too squishy. Bristleback can man fight him. Juggernaut is invulnerable during Omni Slash. He's just not going to get anything done. If he went for a Blade Mail build, even Necro 3, I'm not so sure would. That would be the other main option. I feel like just for the split push potential. But with the early snowball HR have had, they're all going to be tanky, pretty highly leveled, difficult to find solo kills with, say, an Orchid build. So I think this is your build this game. But the issue is going to be there's that window where he can't really do much except farm.
Yeah, that window
and
is
then just
basically
they keep on
now.
finding pickoffs. Mid lane, they look for one.
Yeah,
but no Omni Slash.
Ooh, and Gale falls just a little bit short, and no kill going to come out there.
VP are really gonna have to rat this. Like, play around with the Legion Commander Blink Dagger. Try to find pickoffs with that plus Mystic Flare. Split push a lot. I don't see them taking fights.
I think more immediately, VP just need to not die in the next 5 to 10 minutes. HR going for some great value items right now. We'll hold that thought as Arts gets initiated on. Mystic Flare way off the mark.
Wah, wah, wah.
Meanwhile, on the other side, Ninja kind of
Radiant's
zoning
bottom
out.
tower
Virtus
is
Pro
under attack.
finds Yol, hits him with some goo. One more burst of Quills. Not going to have the cooldown instead. They'll go into BZZ. He'll fire Remnant away, and the elusive Virtus Pro will live. But just look at the HR inventories. They've got a Mask of Madness, a Mech, a Vanguard, and a Medallion. That's just like...
I think they've realized how strong they are now.
Yeah.
Like,
the
oh yeah,
perfect
we
set.
can just Roche. How convenient.
I mean, they are so strong. Like, the next 5 minutes, you just don't want to fight this team. Huge damage output.
Vanguard farmed up on the Bristleback, as you mentioned. Big item for him. They're going to try to contest this. I don't know, though, Andrew. There's still the mech to worry about Black Hole. I don't think they really want to go in.
Still a double damage on Ember Spirits. That gives them like a sliver of hope here.
If they can steal the Aegis. But it's tough to Blink Initiate against Venno. If he keeps on dropping Plague Wards, it'll be difficult for the Legion to come in. So that leaves it up to BZZ to YOLO into the pit. And I don't know if that's worth the risk.
Dire side, they watch Roche fall down. Not really much they can do about it. And ultimately, they can't contest it. Aegis goes to Arts. They will smoke out of the pit.
They did smoke, but this was spotted by the Dire side. They have this Observer Ward here.
Yep.
Yeah, doesn't matter. They're going to back off.
All right. So HR still rewarded for their troubles there. And still a surprisingly low kill score. HR with about 1,000 gold lead. It seems been on the grass, but they have a lot of potency right now. And LC just not finding any opportunities. G still with 0+ damage. Haven't seen a single duel yet this game. Just trying to get that baseline of farm going.
Yeah, what is very weak now can become much stronger when it's forged anew. And you get the Midas up on the Prophet, can start to pay off in the next 3 to 5 minutes, I would say. He'll be at a point where he can actually get involved in some ganks. They have Relocate online. Blink Dagger, as mentioned, has been up on Legion. And Ember is building towards the Battle Fury. So it looks bleak for fights now, but fights in 5 to 8 minutes will go much better for them. And that's where HR need to keep up the momentum. They have a strong late game in their own right, but right now they've built items and they've Venno.
BZZ smoked up, has a little bit of time left on it. He will use a healing salve, and I think he'll be all right.
Yeah, even if they get the kill, he got all his creeps anyway.
Oh, got him in the mid lane, gets caught out. Mystic Flare flies through, but a swap and a mech enough to keep him alive. Now the relocate, duel from G. Gets his first victory as they get the quick pick on Enigma. The rest of HR is here, ready to continue fighting, though. Atha Ninja stacking up some goo on BCZ. Meanwhile, Gorak looking for the whiff. The relocate out will keep him safe and sound.
Team?
BZZ, yeah, not going to be so lucky. Out of mana, now out of HP. And that will be a 1-for-1.
Poor Ember.
Yeah.
That's good, though. They get the Enigma kill, but the problem is that HR are not pushing mid, and they're every time that they've taken a fight, they've just been in position for an objective. They take the fight bottom, they end up getting a kill there, and then they go into the Roche pit. Now they take the fight mid. Even though the Enigma dies, their mech carrier, it takes a long time to kill him, and then the relocate ends, they go back top, and
yeah,
there is a bit of a split push here going on, but still HR taking the more important objectives for now.
Nature's Prophet looks like probably a Necro book, as you were talking. Just the split push will be their kind of golden ticket in this game. And already Bristle kind of a step ahead here, just going for that Crimson Guard. Actually has it completed, just needs to get a turn on the Courier. And one of those items that doesn't necessarily scale so well, but at this stage in the game in team fights, it mitigates a ridiculous amount of damage just across the board. And it just makes it hard to really commit to a fight. Juggernaut also farming like a madman. Yasha has been completed and on his way to a Manta style.
Building Crimson Guard now in conjunction with the mech, the Healing Ward, the Venno Max Plague Wards. This is screaming, we want to end the game by 25-30 minutes.
Yeah.
As mentioned, they do go pretty late with Enigma, Jug, Bristle. Yet, I think at some point you get to the late game against the Wisp, Prophet. They will split push quickly enough to just force you to play defense, and HR don't want to let it get to that stage.
Arts wants the rune down bottom, but won't be able to find it. BZZ just throws it in the bottle, and then Remnants back to safety.
Invisibility.
All right.
So yeah, I think if you're HR, you've got the Aegis now for a minute and a half. I think they can go for the tier 2 top here if they want to start grouping and heading that way, and it looks like they will. They're going to bring 3 heroes into the enemy jungle. At the same time, if you're BP, I don't take fight. Split push, maybe sack a tower or 2. If they can isolate like 1 hero on the back lines and just get a clean pick-off, that would be nice. Courier, being chased. Dusky, run!
Oh, yeah, it did get scattered out there as the Necronomicon level 1 was delivered to the Nature's Prophet. Not enough damage to bring it down. HR, you're right about wanting to end this game sooner rather than later. They're grouped up about this top tier 2. Only 2 towers remaining for Virtus Pro outside of their base, and soon to be 1. They'll try to go for some tower trading, it looks like. Down bottom, Sadoy ready to cut the creep wave, and in the mid, G and Jotum laying into that tier 1 tower.
VP are playing this right, and it may not matter. HR may be able to end the game before they can do anything, but taking fights at that tier, that's not where you take the fight. You take the fight in your base, you may have to use a buyback or 2 to hold. Aegis is going to wear off in about 30-45 seconds, but it may be too late at that point, Andrew.
Yeah, Glyph has already been used, so this is the time to defend for Virtus Pro. Tower already at half health. They've got all of their reinforcements in the base, ready to take this fight. It's more of a matter of how do you started. You know the Enigma's in the back with a black hole ready.
Omni.
Right onto the Wisp. Wisp will go down first. Now Virtus Pro in a little bit of trouble. They do take out the Aegis, but it was about to expire anyway. Basically with the Juggernaut wanted. Now the initiation comes in right on the Gotham, but the defensive swap is there. The duel will not result in a victory, and G will get taken out. It's HR coming out ahead in this fight. They lose their Skywrath off on the backside, and I think this will be a lane of barracks here, LD.
Healing Ward coming off cooldown in 20 seconds. Not going to be ready in time for the rest of the fight, but they may settle for the range tracks now. Seeing the buyback, having used Omni Slash, having used Aegis. They have Black Hole, though. VP have to be careful about chasing.
Yeah, Searing Chance connect on Ninja. G will have a duel in about 19 seconds.
And they have Healing Ward in 2 seconds.
Oh, so much damage on the Venge and the Venomancer. Both of them get blown up. Got him. Low on HP. Will mech up. Still holding on to that Black Hole. G takes a lot of damage. There's the Black Hole on 3. Y'all stand on the outside. Does manage to interrupt it. No follow-up damage. A good hole, but they can't get any kills out of it.
Oh, man. If he didn't get those 2 kills right then, they're dropping the Healing Ward and they're taking the melee.
Here's the duel right on the Gotham. Is the follow-up damage there for G to get a little bonus damage out of it? There is not, but they still find the kill. And it is Virtus Pro that will make a hold. Now, Ninja trying to TP home. Any way to interrupt it? There is not. They try to relocate through, but G without an ultimate will be forced just to watch him TP home as he steals the Radiance Ancients.
He had a Remnant chains there. I think BZZ might have been able to stop that one. Still, great hold by VP. And again, if they don't get the 2 kills, I think it was with the overwhelming odds by G. Overwhelming odds very good against push strats, by the way. Probably one of the reasons why VP picked it. This is not a hardcore push strat, but it's still a very strong one, and ends up just destroying the creep wave, getting the 2 supports down right before.
Yeah, you saw how much damage it did when it connects with all those units. It's disgusting.
Even the first time he used it here, like, annihilates the creep wave, brings everyone down below half health. Yeah. The issue is when that happens again and HR actually have the Healing Ward online, like, you saw that VP just can't, they couldn't snipe the Healing Ward. They don't have, like, say, Lycan Wolves or something that are really good for picking it off, and then they just can't really stop the push.
Yeah.
They still need more burst damage if they're going to get kills through the Healing Ward.
Now BKB now up on the LC, still a
Omni
measly 10
Slash.
damage right on the Jotum, right on the Yo. That's an easy double. Meanwhile in the jungle, G trying to do some solo work. Gets a duel off on Gotham. Dread is there with the defensive swap, and G, he'll just try to BKB TP home, but that's not going to happen. Arts with a triple kill. Oh my gosh.
Well, Jug is getting fed now.
Yeah.
7-0-0, 12,000 net worth. And he's been constantly fighting. That's the scary thing about this hero. He pushes hard. He fights well. He still scales incredibly well with farm. He does it all. And it's working again in our second game of the series.
Now they just press forward towards the high ground. Ember Spirit doing what little he can to try and delay this push. He has a Battle Fury. He's cleaving, but the damage just isn't enough to deal with the Crimson Guard.
Without the Legion, they don't really have good deep push. They can't clear the wave out quickly. Ember doing an okay job, but the hero's not being addressed. They swap arts out, BKB at the last hour.
Okay, that was a 10-second BKB charge.
They should just back. They brought the tower low. They don't have to finish it just yet. Wait for the next Roche, get the Aegis, and then do exactly what you did top. Then HR can break the space. But with Legion respawning, it would be terrible to stick around, and they are going to wisely retreat out.
Yeah, and I think definitely the right play there. Ember is really annoying in this kind of a situation when you're a team that's, with your items, kind of committed to taking an early edge and wanting to end this game roughly before the 30-minute mark. This is right when Ember is starting to come online, and when you group up in those little bottlenecks, just with, Phase Drum Battle Fury, he's still able to clean it up and make that push a lot more difficult.
If they can hang on just a bit longer, get maybe like a crit on the Ember, Legion just gets one more item. I mean, he's already got BKB Blink, which is pretty good. They can just almost insta-give the creep wave, and then it gets hard to push.
Yeah.
So I would agree. I think for HR, clock's somewhat a ticking. But if it goes late, they can still win. It just comes down to finding pickoffs and VP making mistakes, which is where you want to try and win the game while you have control over the tempo and you're not relying on your opponent's misplays. They're going to go straight for the Roche now.
Yeah,
this is the Aegis they want to end the game with.
Yeah, they won't even smoke. They'll just move right in. Dire do have some vision. Treant down. So they have a general idea of what's going on. They've also got ward coverage on the high ground. So this won't be particularly sneaky, though. They've lost vision now. Down bottom, Ninja initiates on the G. And he'll be kind of on the back foot here. Now they'll turn it around, go for the duel. There's Skywrath with the ultimate, and that will be a winner. LC gets her second bout of damage, but it's all about space creation. HR will trade their Bristleback for an uncontested Roche, and Aegis once more goes to the Juggernaut.
Just thinking he's tankier than he is. They probably want a BKB or two here. The
Radiant's
Ogre Club
top
is out.
tower
He's
is
going
under
for
attack.
it. But
Yep. Meanwhile, up top,
they just
BT.
jump straight top, and they'll find
Push.
2 tier 2s. Oh, this one might get denied.
Yeah, BZZ hit by Malphus, but still has a lot of damage to Gotham. Gotham needs to be a little careful here. Necronomicon on the way in, swinging that little sword. Now the relocate. Here we go. Gotham gets taken out by G, and Dread locked in place by the Searing Chain, swapped back, but not going to be enough to keep him alive. The tier 2 tower gets taken out by Sadoy, and all of a sudden it's HR that appear to be on the back foot, at least a little bit, despite the successful Roche.
3 kills, all the lanes pushed in, and they get 2 tier 2s. Omni Slash, though, comes through.
BZZ, he lives as he scoots away. G does not live.
Oh no, this is a double, a big crit!
Oh no.
Juggernaut Dota, ladies and
Radiant's bottom
gentlemen.
tower is
9-0
under
and
attack.
0 on Arts.
You cannot fight this hero when he's Omni Slash. It's just impossible. Unless you can somehow bait it out. They tried to, but it's like if both heroes don't have escape mechanisms, the Omni just ends up killing the other person instead. Then you try to come back in and fight, you die too.
Well, it looked like for a moment there that sometimes he'll kind of chase the Ember, and I thought
Radiant's
Ember might be able to
bottom
isolate him, but I was like,
tower
oh,
has
this is
been
really
denied.
good. He's going to stop the Omni, and then nope, okay, just killed the LC. What a bummer that turned
I
out.
do like the items a lot from Arts. BKB is normally not an item you see in Juggernaut, right? Because he's got Blade Fury. But up against Instant Silence, as well as massive nuke damage, this they don't have to blow the swap on him to keep him alive. You just BKBs and...
I mean, just look at the level of confidence
Omni
here. He is up by himself. He forces out the glyph by himself. Of course, he does have
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch!
Exactly. I mean, it adds a little bit to the confidence here, but still feeling very brave, critting for 650 on these Christmas trees. He's turned into a lumberjack here as he cuts him down.
This is the push that could also cost them, if not the game, then all the momentum, though.
Yeah.
They got to be careful. No Omni Slash right now.
LC's buyback on cooldown for 20 seconds here. Not enough gold to use it, but if they get a couple of kills, it could actually come down to some buyback.
They have a ward on G now, though. This is huge for HR. They're going to try to swap him. They do.
But follow up. Oh, there it is. G in a lot of trouble. He'll be the first to go down. Not enough gold for buyback, nor does he have the timer. Dread on the high ground will get locked in place, but Venomancer goes down in the mid. Oh, off to the side. That's a black hole on BZZ. Got him. He's trying to solo the world over here. Not going to have enough for the kill. An odd use of that black hole.
They haven't used Omni Slash yet, though. It's coming off cooldown soon. Melee racks in both lanes. Exposed and starting to take damage
Yeah.
in the mid.
VP's hanging in there, though. 20 seconds until LC comes back up. Arts with no mana does have the Omni and still the Aegis. Range tracks go down. Ember Spirit cleaving his little heart out, but is it enough? Oh, the Sprout. That's cute.
Cute, but is it enough, like you said? That's the key thing. Art still has Aegis, still has his ultimate. If they actually kill him, this could end up costing them a lot. Appa Ninja dropping low, though. The Art's still fighting through this. They pop the Aegis.
Prepare for the Omni. Now G coming back in. They're going to go for Got him. They get the bristle back. G gets a little bit of bonus damage there. Got him. Will get isolated. I want to see what Arts is up to. He'll finish off the barracks. Brings down Sadoy. The Omni Slash is here. Gets silenced, but still doing a lot of right-click damage. Just goes into Y'all's face and brings him down. It's the Juggernaut versus the world right now. Can they actually bring him down? The Blade Fury, 25 hit points. He's still alive. The Wisp dies to the Venomancer.
Oh, the Prophet all gets him. Oh, my goodness. That was just ridiculous, dude.
Sadoy gets all that bonus gold, and now Gorak gets left behind, or does he?
This is before he spends his 5k gold as well. Oh my goodness. Now you see why teams are banning this hero. If you haven't been watching competitive Dota the past few weeks, Juggernaut, I'd say probably the most banned hero, if not, then definitely one of the top few, along with, say, the likes of Brewmaster, and with good reason. He does it all.
Yeah. Now, VP do hang in there, though. They had to buy back onto Sadoy's Nature's Prophet. G might get jumped down here in the bottom. They're thinking about it. No, not going to have a go. They'd lose their mid lane of barracks, but it still isn't that crippling damage. I mean, you look at that overall recap, and it's a kind of a break-even, less the barracks, of course.
Yeah, that's a big less, though.
Yeah.
Big less. Nature's
don't
Prophet also having to buy back. Pretty costly.
He does have his level 3 Necro book, though.
Yeah, I think they've played it pretty well overall. It's just once you let HR get a tiny bit of momentum because of the nature of their draft, they're very difficult to stop. It's one bad fight. HR have 2 lanes of racks, and it's almost unwinnable from there. If you're VP, gotta at all costs just try to prevent them from getting to your base and avoid risky fights. Because you give up a kill or two, especially if heroes don't have buyback, which currently they have on Legion and Ember, so they have their important buybacks. But if they get caught without them, it could be very bad.
BZZ BZZ, kind of in an awkward position. I think he does have a Fire Remnant down. Yeah, just being cheeky, serving as a distraction, and G will just continue to pressure this bottom lane, push the creeps in. Has a plate mail picked up, so probably an Assault Cuirass on the way for the Legion Commander. Wisp, level 11, does have a Ghost Scepter as his kind of first big item after those utility support pickups. How's the Ember Spirit doing?
It's interesting because on paper, Ghost Scepter should be the counter to Jug, right? You Omni Slash, you just Ghost, but what ends up happening is unless everyone on your team has a Ghost or some other way to get out,
just bounces
it
around.
just goes and kills your teammate instead, which is, you know, in a lot of ways worse. Like, the Wisp dying is quite bad, but bottom lane, they get the duel, and goddamn, nice kill there.
Easy damage there for G. Now up to 52, so starting to become a little more of a threat. They may have to concede their Wisp. He'll try to TP out. Jotum will live. A close call, but knows his limits and survives in the well.
Perfect. Just keep on pushing out the lanes. This buys time for Ember to push in mid, Nature's Prophet to do his work top, and do not let them get to your base.
Yep. Anything they can do to take a fight away from the base is an absolute victory for Virtus.pro.
If it goes too much later, I still think VP are in a pretty decent position. Yeah, Rack's exposed, but Prophet Wisp, very good in base trade scenarios. And with the lanes pushed out, HR are going to have trouble getting to the enemy base. And you look at their Tricore, they're only behind the Juggernaut right now. With a Prophet Hex, he can be dealt with. Maybe he goes back for a Blink Hex later this game. He is getting the Ultimate Orb now.
Yeah.
At that point, I think you can take the Juggernaut out of the picture.
Yeah, all these other heroes for HR don't really scale particularly well, especially with their current state of farm. The Veno can be a threat if he's kind of balling out of control, but not really that close to an Aghanims. BZZ in the mid may find himself in a tough situation, but nope, Fire Remnant for the win. You know, Venge and okay support towards the late game, but Bristle, he's got a BKB now, 10-second charge ready, but his damage output will start to fall off a little bit as we get closer and closer to that late game.
BKB, as mentioned, same reason for the Bristles for the Jug, just excellent against
Radiant's
the dual Mystic Flare combo, which is the main way heroes are dying right now.
There's the BKB on Enigma too, so that's a lot of magic immunity. Won't keep you safe from that critting Ember Spirit who grabs his Daedalus.
Big item for him.
Oh yeah.
Good for debushing. And I think it still kind of hangs in the balance here. I'd say slight edge to HR, but if it's played correctly by VP, it's difficult to get to the point where you can end the game.
And it looks like Prophet is working on a Hex. I think you mentioned that earlier. Has that ultimate orb, so still a ways off, but they've got some
want
tools.
some reliable lockdown versus Jug. It's also it's nice to cancel Black Hole, but actually could end up being an issue for them. Goddamn has now picked up BKB.
But here's the big bad Abyssal Blade, and this is the scary item on Jug where Arts can now really anyone he wants just lock down and cut him apart. Even the LC not going to be safe with that 8-second BKB any longer.
They go for the swap Omni, but couldn't get off the Abyssal Blade in time, so he's able to just Remnant out.
Yeah. Courier just delivering some wards. So taking a slightly more passive turn, both teams, I think, realizing the volatility of the situation in this game and waiting for the other to kind of make that fatal misstep. Roche will be coming up pretty soon here, a little bit less than a minute, so probably will become the focal point of this match. Like whoever gets Roche will be in a pretty good position for this next big team fight.
If they have an opening like that again, he should definitely Abyssal first and then go for the Omni Slash. So I think Arch just kind of, free kill. And you can get lucky with a bash in the random auto attacks in between the Omni Slash strikes, but at this stage of the game, you're not going to need that Abyssal Blade in the next minute. You get that kill, you push down mid. By the time you do need it, it's up again. So if they have that opportunity again, would like to see him just... You could even like queue up the Abyssal Blade before the swap. Just cast it on him and run towards him, and the Venge will swap him into you potentially.
Yeah.
Kind of like we've seen swaps into instant hexes work a similar way. You do have to run next to them, but he had time in that case.
Yeah, down bottom, G and Jotum could find themselves in kind of an odd position. Never mind, who's going to jump on who? BKB used by Ninja, but G already gets the duel off. Sadoy joins the party, throwing in some auto attacks from the backside. They can't bring him down in the duration of the duel. Now Veno comes in, kamikaze style, drops the ultimate, gets the kill onto Jotum. They find it onto Bristleback, so a 1-for-1, soon to be a 1-for-2 is Sadoy. Going blow for blow with this Venomancer, finds the clear vision with the Sprout, and there you go.
Just look at where the fights are taking place. The fights are happening here, up over here in the top lane. The two like tier 2s basically on the side lanes for the Radiant side. And that is exactly where VP want to be taking fights. They're responding very well under pressure. Love the way they're playing this.
Yeah,
I think HR is starting to get a little nervous.
They're really not panicking, and they're playing oddly passive with the Wisp, but in such a way that it catches you off guard, where you almost forget about the relocate. And, you know, HR need to be careful. It's happened once earlier where it seemed like a good fight, then, oh, there's the relocate. So it's sort of like Virtus.pro almost keeping it as sort of like a pocket strat to keep HR on their toes.
And this is where you love having Nature's Prophet on the Dire side, because you push that top lane, and what happens is HR have a choice. They can send someone to defend top, in which case Roche is a freebie, or they can try and go contest the Roche, in which case Heroes might end up getting blown up. Juggernaut Omni Slash using one-shot crits the Skywrath down. BKB still going.
Oh no, it's looking bad for Virtus.pro. Johnum comes in, takes a Juggernaut stun right away. The Abyssal Blade, Sidoi in the middle of the fight. He could be in some trouble here as he's trying to run away, but BZZ reinitiating. Can he find a kill on Arch? Searing Chains on 2. Gorek coming in, full health, full mana, and he'll be forced to hop away. Gorek in hot pursuit, but the TP home. BZZ should be able to live. Now Roche open for HR, and Virtus.pro get knocked down a few runs.
The alternative for VP there was to just leave the Prophet top, try and stall the Roshan, and try and at least trade buildings. They go for the full-on fight. Does not end up working out. Costly. Very costly.
Yeah, and of course that was third Roche.
That was also with Omni Slash not really doing anything. He got like 2 or 3 slashes off on a hero, and that was it. But still just runs in, starts bashing everyone.
Yeah, these supports are just food. This Skywrath, I think, needs to find a Ghost Scepter somehow, some way, and needs to find the gold for it, because, I mean, Jug, it's like one-shot territory if he gets a crit.
He literally one-shotted him there. Crit, one shot, dead.
Yeah.
Skywrath either at full health or like close to 90%.
Yep, got him now, level 16 on the Enigma. Does have the Blink Dagger. Good Black Hole that time around. Would have been a completely different fight if he was interrupted there, and that's where just the one shot on the Skywrath Mage opens up a lot more possibilities for the Hellraiser. Well, I guess he has BKB now, so it doesn't matter that.
They are going to push the bottom lane. You'd love to transition top, but it is a long way to run, and they'll get the tier 3 here. But can they break the base? Prophet's coming back soon. Buyback status looking pretty healthy here on the Dire side.
Yeah, this is the hold that they have to make. Venomancer gets destroyed to start off the fight, but Yol does go down in return. 1-for-1, tier 3 tower falls. Eidolon's doing some work on the barracks. Now Art taking some damage. The fight will break out as G hops forward with a duel, and it will not be successful. Jug wins. Buyback now onto G, but this is Virtus.pro's last leg, and looking like it could be a game 3 on the horizon. Now the Ember Spirit goes down. Kill Buyback. Also, Arts is just a madman right now. Finally gets taken out, but he hasn't
got Omni. This is going to be Fountain Farming time.
Oh, Virtus.pro just getting cleaned up in their own fountain. The Omni Slash doing so much work here. Arts will Manta and continues to fight the Omni, or pardon me, the...
Get the racks, guys. Goddamn, it's like, you know, let's actually win this game first. But
meanwhile,
very good.
Yeah, there he is.
This will be Megas. If not now, then soon. HR, very nice. Very nice strat, and they hit their timing windows well. I think still VP could have just pushed top instead of trying to contest the Roche that hard, and it would have stalled the game a bit longer.
Just gets slapped down, and that's enough for him to say, GG, we're done. Thanks a lot, guys, but let's go to a game 3.
Beastly hero.
All right, so will we see a Jug ban coming into game 3? I'm going to go ahead and say that's a big affirmative.
He seems really good in Russian Dota. Like, he's strong in general, but the teams just, they always want to fight. They're always, like good example, that last Roche engagement. I think a lot other teams, like, say, Alliance, especially back in the old days, would have just left the Prophet top, maybe even relocate someone towards top just to push a bit faster, but not VP. They want to, Russian players want to take fights, and Jug excels in that environment.
19-1-5 on that Juggernaut this game.
It was the whole strategy. As much as the Juggernaut ends up being the star, getting the early medallion, running Enigma, uncontested in the woods, early Crimson Guard from Bristleback, early Mech out Enigma.
Good itemizing in general.
They itemized well. They also realized that they couldn't mess around, right? They had to take objective after objective. Went for tier 2 pushes very early. HR played really well, in addition to just dominating on the 17 fantasy point Jug. 16.6.
All right, very good. So game 3, the ace match today is the day of game 3s. We're 3 for 3 so far in our 4 best of 3s of going to an ace match. That's what we hope for here with this action-packed Dota. We'll have the deciding match between these two coming up next. I'm Zyori, joined by LD. Thank you so much for joining us here for the Dota 2 Asia Championships on Beyond the Summit. Stick around because more Dota